These are the list of instruments that we are used in electrical machines lab. Those are ammeter, voltmeter, wattmeter, power factor meter, rheostat, tachometer, single phase and three phase auto transformers. Now let's have an explanation regarding these instruments, that how they are using in electrical machines to laboratory.
Now look at these meters. So let us learn now how to identify AC and DC meters. So now if you closely observe this meter, you can see that there is a sinusoidal signal here which indicates that this is an AC meter. So this A indicates us that this is an ammeter. So range of this meter is 0 to 15 amperes AC, right. Now coming to this meter, this is a 0 to 2 amperes DC meter, fine. So in the same way, if here the symbol is V, that comes as an voltmeter and the range will be indicated here, whether that is AC or DC will be indicated by a symbol here. Now let us have a look at the wattmeters. So there are two kinds of wattmeters here, one is LPF wattmeter, the other one is UPF wattmeter. Let us learn how to identify which is LPF and UPF. So for an LPF wattmeter, here cos phi value will be mentioned, that is power factor will be mentioned. If power factor is mentioned here, that means this is a LPF wattmeter. So its range, let us see now, it is 0 to 300 watts, 0 to 300 watts. LPF wattmeter. So the same wattmeter can be used for measuring 600 watts and measuring 1200 watts also. So it reads nearly 5 to 10 amperes. So let us also learn how it can be used for measuring 5 amps and how it can be used for measuring 10 amps also. So let us see now, here for every wattmeter certain calculations will be given here. So once let us have a look at this portion. So here it is given that short 1 1 and 2 2 here. Actually it is 2 2, short 1 1 and 2 2. That means if you short 1 1 and 2 2 directly, that means if you change these connections vertically and connect it vertically, so that means it reads the first value, that means the wattmeter is connected for 5 ampere, it means that. Then again if you connect 1 2 and 1 2, that means if you connect 1 2 and 1 2 as it is connected here, this wattmeter it can be used for range of 10 amperes, right. So in the same way you can observe here the same wattmeter, as we have already seen that it can be used for calculating up to 300 volts or 600 volts also. Means if you take this 300 volts terminal and it is connected for 1 1 and 2 2 once again. So if you take the connections from 300 volts and connect 1 1 and 2 2, that means it is parallel. If it is parallel, so if it is parallel 1 1 and 2 2, that means first line calculation, that means it is used for calculating up to 5 amperes 300 volts, right. 5 amperes 300 volts, the multiplication factor will be 1. Then again if you take 600 volts terminal now. So if you take connection from 600 volts terminal and it is connected for 1 1 and 2 2, that means you have to take the multiplication factor of first line itself, 5 amps 600 volts, that means the multiplication factor will be 2. Then again if 1 2 and 1 2 is shorted, that means as it is connected here 1 2 is connected, that means the connections are made for reading up to 10 amperes, that is. So up to 10 amperes, right. So if the connection is taken from 300 volts now, the multiplication factor will be 2, and if you take connection from 600 volts terminal, the multiplication factor will be 4, right. So this is the way of calculating the multiplication factor. Then let us go to the UPF wattmeter. So in LPF wattmeter, power factor value will be given here, but here in UPF wattmeter there is no power factor indication here. When there is no power factor indication, that means this is a unity power factor meter. So let us see its range now. It is 0 to 1125 watts, right, watts. So there is no rule that every wattmeter is showing only watts. There are few wattmeters which shows readings in terms of kilowatts directly. So this wattmeter is a wattmeter which shows only in watts, measures in only in watts, 0 to 1125 as well as 0 to 2250, 0 to 4500 and 0 to 9000 watts. So, in this as in the previous case, the same method is taken for the calculation of multiplication factor here. So, you can observe here also the values are given. Now, let us have a look at the rheostat. Rheostat is nothing but a variable resistor. So, these you can observe the revolutions here, windings here, these windings are nothing but the resistance value, winding resistance, this is called winding resistance. So, you can observe there are 3 terminals here, these 1 terminal, 2 terminal and 3 terminal. Generally, these terminals, the below terminals are taken as fixed terminals and this one is taken as a variable terminal. So, if you observe here, to vary the resistance, this knob can be used. So, this is a movable knob, you can observe here, you can move it from minimum to maximum. Now, let us see where it shows maximum resistance and where it shows minimum resistance. So, as there are 3 terminals here, you can use any of these 3, any 2 of these 3 terminals. So, for example, if you are using these 2 terminals, that means we have already seen you should always take the bottom terminals as fixed terminals and this one as variable terminal. So, if you put the knob here, if the knob is now here and the two terminals are now here, see this is the path in which the current can easily flow and this is the path where the current observes some opposition, right, this is the resistance. So, if you observe here, this is the path 1 and this is the terminal 2, fixed terminal whereas variable terminal. From fixed terminal, if the current comes like this, if it has to pass through this terminal, it has to move on along with through these windings and take a path which allows it easily, that is nothing but this part, that means it has to pass through this knob and move from this rod and come out from this terminal. That means that entire winding resistance is added into the circuit, that means this is the maximum resistance position. Now, if you are moving this knob this side, slowly this winding resistance is cutting out of the circuit now, that means current comes through this one, goes through the winding resistance and when it comes here, this is the path which allows the current easily. So, that the current takes this path and does not go through this part, that means this part of the circuit, this part of the winding resistance is out of the circuit now. That means, when compared to the previous case, now the resistance is decreasing. So, when you go this side, when you move the knob this side, the resistance which is into the circuit is reducing gradually and when it comes to this side, now it means that there is minimum resistance. Now, in the same way, if you take these 2 terminals instead of these 2, previously we have taken these 2, now if you take these 2 terminals, that means if this is fixed and if this is variable, now the current enters through this one and touches this one. So, it is allowing easily, so that it takes this path and comes out of this terminal. That means, this resistance is not into the circuit, that means this is the minimum position of this rheostat. Now, if you move the knob this side, from this terminal current enters. So, if you observe, there is no easily moving path. So, the current has to move from this side. Now, here there is easily allowing path. So, the current goes through this side and comes out of this terminal. So, that means this much part of the winding resistance is into the circuit now. That means, now in this case, if you go on moving the knob from this end to that end, the winding resistance is increasing into the circuit, right. So, based on that, you can select either of these 2 knobs or either of these 2 knobs. So, let us have a look at the digital tachometer now. This is the digital tachometer which helps us in measuring the speed of any rotating machine. So, this is the pointer which is to be put in the rotating machine, rotor of the rotating machine. If you put here and put on this switch, see, you can observe here the reading, the speed of the rotating machine. The speed of the rotating machine can be measured in 2 units, that is RPM, revolutions per minute, and MPM, that is meters per minute, but we will be generally using revolutions per minute, right. So, this button is helpful for us in storing the values of the rotating machines, speed of the rotating machines. So, this is about the digital tachometer. Now, let us have a look at the power factor meter. So, in place of 2 wattmeters, we can use power factor meter directly, which gives us cos phi value directly. So, in the previous case, we have seen that using LPF and UPF wattmeter, we can observe the values of power in watts, but here directly power factor can be obtained. So, if you observe here, these are the 3 RYB terminals. These RYB terminals are taken from the RYB mains or whatever the machine which you are using for experimentation. Now, these 2 ML terminals are the ML terminals of the first wattmeter, and these 2 terminals are the ML terminals of the second wattmeter. And if you observe, in every wattmeter we will be making MC short. So, here if you observe, there is no C terminal, that means the C terminals of both the wattmeters are internally connected, right. So, this power factor meter reads us the power factor values both in lagging and leading power factor. If you observe here, this is a power factor meter which shows us readings from 0.5 lag to unity power factor and then to 0.5 leading power factor. Now, let us have a look at the single phase variac or dimmer, right. So, these are the 2 input terminals to this variac. So, when you vary the supply from, you see, if you rotate this knob, you can vary the supply from 0 to 270 volts, right. So, this variac can be used for varying from 0 to 270 volts. If you have a look at the ratings, so it can be used for maximum loading of 10 amperes. Distribution chamber from which inputs can be given to each and every panel board of different experiments. So, if you observe here, these are nothing but the indicators which shows us the input which we are obtaining from the main supply line, that is from transmission lines. What is the input obtained to this chamber, we can see here in terms of RMS values. So, these are the indicators of RYB phases. So, these are nothing but the MCBs corresponding to different panel boards. You can observe here, these are the 3-phase MCBs, right. These are the 3-phase MCBs. So, these numbers indicate nothing but the number of different panel board, right. When you come to this side, this is the DC input chamber. So, if you put on the switches here, the input to the panel boards of the experiments which corresponds to DC excitation will be getting on. So, this is nothing but the rectifier switch. If you put on this switch, the rectifier chamber will be getting the supply. This is the rectifier chamber. We have seen that when you put on the rectifier switch there, the supply will be given to this rectifier chamber. So, the ratings of this rectifier chamber are 230 volts. So, it can measure up to 300 amperes. That means it can give supply up to 300 amperes. These are the meters which gives us, which displays the rated value of DC current. See, if you observe here, it is 218.5 and that is 2 amperes. Now,